Hello, salut, ciao, hola, oi. How are you guys? If you don't know me and if you don't know my channel, my name is Gabriela and this is your Brazilian spot. Here I share things related to Brazil. Culture, language, curiosities, history, and etc. Today the video is about Brazilian culture compared to French culture. First of all, I want to be really clear that I'm not generalizing any culture, any country, anything. I'm just telling things based on my own experience during my time in France. There's different people everywhere in the world, but as I love sharing things about culture, this is the topic today. Let's go to the video. So guys, today I decided to bring this video because actually I've lived in France for almost 1 year, like from last year to this year. And obviously this channel is about Brazil, but I like to bring my personal experience for this because of course I am Brazilian, so why not share a little bit about my experience in life, living abroad and things like that. So during this time that I was living in France, a lot of things happened. Obviously you have a lot of situations when you're not from a country, good and bad and strange and funny. So, I decided to share a little bit with you. So I'm gonna tell you the difference between Brazilian and French culture. The first one is the cheese. I mean, how they use the cheese and how we use the cheese, if you know what I mean. You must know that in France they have a lot of types of cheese and they eat cheese in many situations. Obviously in the salty things, but also in some moments that we wouldn't. For example, in Brazil, you can put in a sandwich, you could put it with pasta, pizza, and you know what I mean? Like, I think the weirdest way that we would eat cheese is when we eat goiabada com queijo. It's some kind of dessert, but in France, the cheese is a dessert sometimes. So, sometimes they eat something with cheese for lunch, which is like they also put in the meal frequently, and then after they eat other types of cheese. But that's very interesting how, I was eating so much cheese in France and now in Brazil I don't eat. It's like I eat cheese but not so frequently like there. In my opinion, was too much cheese even though it's yummy. The second difference, I think French, without generalize, they are a little bit more closed than Brazilians. In Brazil we are so friendly. I think somehow, whoever comes to Brazil make friends with Brazilians. For me, it was very hard. I will not say that I didn't make any friends, but to be honest, like French friends, it was a little bit hard. The good thing is that it's a multicultural place, so it's easy to find a lot of people from everywhere that might be a little bit more open, but especially a French in France, maybe they are a little bit more closed than a French, let's say, in Brazil. I think that's kind of natural, but I feel like this is a really cultural barrier. Number 3 is also related to food. It's how they eat their lunch, for example. They eat very slow. It's like step by step, if you know what I mean. In France, they eat first plate, like a small entrance, and then they have the real lunch, let's say, and then they have the dessert. But this can take like hours, you know what I mean? If you're going to a French lunch, you must be ready to spend some hours in this place. But in Brazil, we go more straightforward to whatever we want. Unless we are doing a barbecue, we normally just, we have the food that, the main dish, and maybe sometimes a dessert. For me, to be honest, I don't need a dessert, so I think it's like, yeah, it was a very interesting thing that I noticed. Number 4 is how they call a place that they go. For example, a cafe could be a place that is a restaurant and also a bar. For us, it's everything different, you know what I mean? Like, a cafe is like a cafe, which is a cafe, like a place to drink coffee, bar or something like this. And a restaurant is another place that you go to eat, more specifically. I felt like it's not generalizing because obviously it depends where you go, but at the same place I was having a beer, there was like a person having a coffee and another person having lunch. So it's kind of, in Europe you can see this in some other countries, but I've noted this in France more than in England, for example. In England you could find these kind of places a little bit more separated. Number 5, the time that people arrives in a dinner or in a party, for example. France is polite to arrive 15 minutes after the time that they say. For example, if it's 7 p.m., then you should arrive 7:15, because otherwise you are being rude. And if you arrive more than 15 minutes after, it's also rude. While in Brazil, for example, we don't have this, you cannot arrive before, but you can arrive from the time that people say. So 7 p.m. you can arrive 7 p.m. or if you arrive 9 p.m. it's not that bad. Obviously it depends on the situation, who it is, but if I say, oh, it's my birthday and it starts at 7 p.m. then it's okay if someone arrives at 9. Honestly, I don't like so much this in our culture. I think people should be more punctual and arrive on time. But I cannot change it in people. I just can change it in myself. This is something that I've learned. Number 6 is that French people, they normally speak low. Why in Brazil people speak higher? I mean, I think I'm in between, but like my family, they speak like very, very loud. In France, it seems like even when people are kind of fighting, arguing or something, they speak low. You don't know that it's a fight or something unless you understand French. So that's a funny difference, to hear them speaking, and it's also soft language. I like it. So guys, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like the video so I know that you are enjoying this content, and that's very important for me, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Ciao, ciao!